With your goals and audience set, it's time for the third layer of the foundation, which is getting clear on the positioning for your book. When we say positioning, we're talking about how readers perceive your book and how they would talk about it if they were sharing it with friends. And when it comes to thinking about positioning, the most important thing is what we call the golden rule of book marketing. And that's the idea that people do not care about your book. They care about what your book gets them. And that sounds harsh, but put yourself in the reader's shoes. The last time you were on Amazon or in Barnes & Noble, were you walking around saying, which author do I want to support today? No, you were thinking about your need to solve a problem or be entertained or learn something new. And all your decisions about which book to read were based on that. And so as we think about positioning, we want to make sure that everything is centered around what's in it for the reader. And to be clear, this is a good thing for you. Right? When you set your goals, you probably didn't set the goal of having people feel bad for you and buy a bunch of copies. No, you want to impact people in some way. And so being clear about what's in it for the reader is crucially important in accomplishing those goals. One example of this that always comes to mind is the book Meetings Suck by Cameron Herold. Because when we think about positioning, we like to think about the cocktail party pitch, right? How would someone describe it to their friend at a cocktail party? And when I think about the cocktail party pitch, we would always think about like a Malcolm Gladwell, right? You read Outliers, and then you just want to talk about all these cool ideas you learned for the next few weeks. But what happens? 2 weeks later, you probably never talk about the book again, right? It's on your mind and then it's gone. And what I love with Cameron's book is that I read it probably 3 years ago. And I didn't think, oh, I've got to tell everyone about this. But the next month, someone was complaining about how ineffective their meetings were. And I said, oh, you've got to read Meetings Suck. And the next month, the same thing. And the next month, the same thing. And I found that for 3 years, consistently, people in Cameron's audience of executives and professionals have complained to me in some way that their meetings are ineffective or not a good use of time. And I found myself recommending the book. And so one of the most effective ways to think about the positioning of your book is to really understand what problem would someone be facing that the book would be a solution to, and then how would a friend recommend the book to them in order to solve that problem. And so Miles, with that in mind, what is the cocktail party pitch for your book? What situation would prompt someone to talk about it, and then what would they say?
Yeah, I could really see someone at a party maybe describing to a friend, I'm really trying to stick to my diet and go to the gym, and I just can't really seem to do it. And then that person who had read the book would say something to the effect of, hey, I just read this book where I realized that we actually don't have as much control over our lives as we thought that we do. Most of our decisions are actually made subconsciously below our conscious awareness, and that's normal. And that if you can align those unconscious choices with what it is you really want, then you'll be able to stick to your goals and go to the gym and stick to your diet.
Amazing. And did you hear how natural that felt, right? That's literally what someone might say to a friend. What I can promise you is that every author, when they do their first attempt at a cocktail party pitch, it sounds like a book description. It sounds like marketing copy. And it takes a lot of work to refine it to the point where it really feels like what someone would naturally say, who isn't on your payroll, who's just recommending the book to a friend. And so spend some time with it, refining your language, making sure that it feels natural and doesn't feel like marketing copy. And once that's done, you have the cocktail party pitch and the positioning for your book clear.